Run it, baby. Ricky Keys, baby!
All right, guys, welcome to another great episode of Alex Wisdom and Ricky Cheese. Marcus, we're going to bring you some really cool stuff tonight. We're going to talk about the state duels coming up this January 24th through the 28th, I believe it is, in Kissimmee, Florida at Osceola High School. This is the state duels finals. We've got 8 teams in each classification, 8 in 1A, 2A, and 3A. These are the 8 teams that have advanced, and we're going to jump right into it. So thank you for watching Florida Wrestling Insight with Alex and, of course, the Florida Wrestling Room with me. We're going to collaborate again. I love doing this with Alex. He's so knowledgeable, and let's get right to it. So we got the 1A state duels. Let's start with the first duel. Suwannee, which is in Live Oak, Florida, and Yulee. I don't know a lot about Yulee. I know more about Suwannee. What do you know about Yulee? Who we got at Yulee?
So Yulee, they're a tough team. I've been looking at their district, and they have some competition there going into their tournament. I know they have a couple of ranked kids across the state. But you talk about Suwannee. My pick before the year started, I said Suwannee were the biggest underdogs because at the start of the season, according to other resources, they weren't ranked as high as they were going into the state dual finals, which they made last year.
Yeah.
So I know with some move-ins and other teams coming in and transfers and all that, they were going to be underlooked. But I do think if there's any chance of a team making the state dual finals again, I believe Suwannee can make it. I mean, they have a tough squad led by who I think is the leader, Eli Jollisolar. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but he's tough. He's really tough, state placer. He's one of the best kids in the state in his weight class, and not just 106 or 113, but in the classification.
Absolutely.
So, in my opinion, I think Suwannee is going to take this one. And, Yulee's a tough team. Congrats to them for making the state duel, but Suwannee's just on another level at this point.
Yeah, I think so too, without knowing as much as I probably should about Yulee. I do know a lot about Suwannee, and you're 100% right, Alex. Eli, forgive me, guys, if I get the last name wrong. Jolashor, Eli, Biggie. He is I think he's the leader of that team. Everybody kind of follows his lead, being the 106-pounder. He gets it started off for everybody, and 9 out of 10 times it's with a win, and usually a big win. Also, just to throw this out there for those that don't know, his family's business, happyheartfarmsflorida.com. happyheartfarmsflorida.com. They own a chicken farm, and you can buy chickens from them. It's kind of cool.
That's actually really cool.
Yeah, they actually are one of the sponsors of the FloridaWrestling.com, one of the weight class sponsors. Eli's a really tough kid, but they do have a lot of other tough kids.
They do.
Not just Eli, obviously. If I go down, let me go back to Yulee for a second. I'm looking here at the state rankings, the FloridaWrestling.com state rankings. Logan Higginbotham at 1. So he's right after Eli. He's ranked number 9 in the state. So they come out with a pretty solid 1-2 punch. I don't know if they have any 20s. Yeah, they do. Justin Contreras is ranked number 6 at 1.
Contreras is very good.
Yeah,
Contreras is very good.
The first 3 guys are studs, man. They got a lot of firepower at Suwannee. They don't have anyone ranked in the top 10 at 26, but with those first 3 guys, that's a possible 18-0 lead.
If you look into the middleweight to heavyweight side, there's also some pretty good guys there. Talk about state reps. I know Suwannee has a lot of good high-level ranked middleweight and heavyweight guys.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
I think it's going to be tough for Yulee. Obviously, anything can happen, but I think for this pick, I got to pick Suwannee.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, their middleweights and upperweights are pretty solid too. 55, Torian Johns ranked number 10. He's a senior. He was not ranked last week, but he did finally break into the rankings this week. He's at 65. I don't know if we have anyone at 75. Funny. No, not in the top 10. 190. Let me take a quick look, guys. Nobody at 190 in the top 10. And remember, guys, we only rank the top 10 at the FloridaWrestling.com. Yeah, nobody at 215. But who they got it? Do they have it 5 ranked? They don't. No, their lower weights and middle weights are where it's at for Suwannee. But yeah, like you, Alex, I will go with Suwannee on that duel. And then we've got Anclote and St. John Newman. Let's talk about that. That's pretty intriguing there. I'm going to let you kick it off with this one.
So this is a favorite to me, not only because I've been in contact with this kid from St. John Newman before, but because of his experience. Lincoln Sledzianowski from St. John Newman. I believe he started up in Florida and got third at states his first year here. for Somerset,
Somerset.
which is a great finish. Goes up to PA, wrestles for Bishop McCourt, which is one of the top teams in the country. And you get training knowledge from guys like Bo Bassett, Melvin Miller, Jax Forrest. That whole team is stacked. And he's also in those guys' range of weight class.
Yeah.
So he's not only learning from the best, but he's wrestling with some of the best. Goes up to PA, gets third in PA states. You talk about arguably one of the toughest states in the country to place at, right? Only has 2 state tournaments too, AA and AAA. Then, on top of that, I believe he's a U17 Greco World Team member, or was. So you talk about a kid that's come back down to Florida, St. John Newman, first-year program, coach from Palmetto Ridge, and moves in, brings a bunch of kids from the transfer list onto that school, and now you have one of the top teams in the state, led by one of the best guys in the state, and Lincoln Sledzianowski.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be tough for Anklote.
Yeah, very tough for Anklote. I don't know if it's something that they can do. They would need a lot of things to go right for them, catch a couple of breaks. And you know what? It's wrestling. You never know what can happen. You get a kid that misses weight, or a couple of kids, or a kid that gets sick this way. And I hope that doesn't happen, of course. But I'm saying a lot of things can happen, and that would have to happen, in my opinion, for Anklote to knock off St. John Newman. I mean, everybody thought that it was going to be, Baptist out of Naples.
Oh, yeah.
First Baptist Naples, and now St. John Newman will be representing over there. So yeah, it'll be interesting. St. John takes that one. Back to Lincoln Sledzianowski. You got to remember he's been trained almost his entire wrestling life by Nestor Verona. Who Nestor Verona has a proven track record of producing world champions. Both of his boys were world champions, state champions, national champions, and Lincoln's right there with them. So
100%.
Now here's the thing. We kind of talked about this off camera a little bit. Should Merritt Island meet St. John Newman in the championship? We've got a showdown with Lincoln and what they used to refer to him as Little Timmy Boda, who's not so little anymore. Now, I know Lincoln is ranked number 1 in the other rankings. I've got Timmy Boda ranked over Lincoln, and I told you my reasons off camera. I think he just finds ways to win. I think that he has a lot of things on his side that a lot of people don't know about. Number 1, his dad, Tim Boda Sr., is a phenomenal wrestler back when he wrestled. He's got very close ties to Gene Mills. His dad and Gene are like that. It's probably like his Uncle Gene Mills. So it's pretty cool that he's got a lot of things like that on his side. Anytime you could pick up the phone and call Gene Mills to get some advice or just to talk, it's always a good thing. I don't know if Timmy's good enough to beat Lincoln at this point. I got him ranked number 1. He's either going to make me look like a genius or a fool, but we'll find out soon enough.
For me, no, Tim Boda is a great wrestler, but I just think the experience, the level, the seniority that Lincoln Sledzianowski has, and how he's been trained and who he's trained with, and the stuff he's accomplished on paper, and to me, I think he's the number 1 in the state for that weight class. This is probably something that we've first ever disagree on.
Yeah.
But I hope that's a state final that we can see Tim Boda versus Lincoln Sledzianowski.
I would love to see that as well. And look, you could be 100% right. Like I said, he's either going to make me look like a genius or a fool. And we'll see what happens, man.
If the cards play out right,
it'll be a great match.
If the cards play out right, they can meet in the state duel finals.
Yes.
So we'll see what happens.
Yes. But for that to happen, Merritt Island would have to knock off Hernando. What do you think about that duel?
So Merritt Island probably had the biggest upset so far. You talk about beating Zephyr Hills Christian 31-30 off of criteria.
Yeah.
Right? Which is never
most match wins was the criteria they won by.
Yes. So, you never want to go down to criteria in a duel and have it rely on that. But this doesn't happen for a reason. Merritt Island is a surprise. A state duel team last year, I believe. And then they beat Miramar in the first round of state duels, made it to the state semis. Merritt Island's not someone to sleep on. To move to 2A to 1A, a lot of people question, why they're able to do it. We all know 1A is tough. Maybe with the help of some 1A move-ins going to 2A, this is why they accomplished the Merritt Island doesn't have guys to sleep on. You talk about Trey Driggett, stud,
tough.
Great wrestler.
Yeah.
Who are the 2 brothers at Merritt Island? DeYoung, Judge DeYoung, and
Kurogas? No, DeYoungs, yeah.
Judge DeYoung, and then Landon Kuroga, amazing wrestlers. That's from lightweight to middleweight. They have guys everywhere.
About Giletti's, Alex Giletti.
Yes. There you go. They have guys everywhere, but Hernando is led by Jeremiah Chavez, state finalist last year.
Yes. And
he's only a freshman too, at 190.
That's crazy.
State finalist as an 8th grader going into his freshman year, and Hernando has some guys too. I think this is something for 1A that is a match to watch. Hernando versus Mare Island, I believe that's going to be the beginning match to watch for 1A.
Yeah.
So if you're at the State Duel tournament, please watch Hernando versus Mare Island.
Yep, that'll be worth the price of admission right there. And then we've got Key West and Matter Lakes. I'm going with Matt. Listen, I love Coach Chas Jimenez. I think he's a great coach. He has been for many, many, many years over there at Key West. He's done wonderful things with that program. Always has tough kids there. I don't know if he's got enough to overtake Matter Lakes. They're tough.
Yeah. I mean, Matter Lakes is my number one team in the state. Key West, first time ever making it to the State Duel tournament. So congrats to coach, congrats to that team. But Matter Lakes has been here before. This isn't a surprise to them. And they've been the favorites before, and they know what to do. You talk about arguably one of the deepest lineups in the state of Florida, from 106 all the way to 285. Their coaches are chess players. They know what to do. They went from a district duel one-match win against Cardinal Gibbons to a region championship where they beat them, I believe, 52-11. So, we always talk about wrestling being a chess game, not checkers, and that's chess right there.
Right.
Made the adjustments to beat the guys they needed to beat to keep it away from being close. So I believe I have Matter Lakes. And Matter Lakes is also my pick to make the state duel finals.
Who does Matter Lakes, who do they have at 106?
So at 106, they have a young kid. He's not highly ranked yet. I don't know his name, but I know at 113 and 120 they have the Messina brothers.
Right.
And if you train with the Messina brothers every day, you're bound to have your wrestling ability jump up levels.
That's a good point.
So he's not someone that should be overlooked.
Right. No, I agree with you. I didn't know who their 106 was. I know I don't have a 106 from Matter Lakes ranked in the top 10, but I certainly do at 113 and 120. Kellen is number one at 113. And Brother Keegan is number one at 120. So, the 1-2 punch at 113 and 120 is almost unstoppable. All right. So you're saying Matter Lakes takes the whole thing?
I believe this is Matter Lakes' year to take the whole thing.
Okay.
I think so. And then, Sewanee and St. John Newman is going to be a very interesting state semifinal.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go with the first-year program taking it and making it to the state finals.
Has St. John Newman and Matter Lakes wrestled this year?
No.
Ooh.
They have not.
Okay.
This is why this is going to be so interesting.
Here's the thing. If that were to happen, which I think it will, I do agree with you. I think it's going to be Matter Lakes and St. John Newman. I think Matter Lakes may slip by Merritt Island, but I think it's going to be a very good duel.
Oh, 100%.
I think it may come down to a point or two. But if that were to happen, St. John Newman versus Matter Lakes for the title, you have to remember one thing. Going back to what you said, this is chess, not checkers. 2022. If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure it was the year. Palmetto Ridge, led by same coach who's coaching St. John Newman.
I know what you're going to say.
Ison. Go ahead and say it.
They won the state duel championship.
How?
By, I believe it was a walk-off pin, right?
It was a chess match between them and South Dade. And,
it was.
And Ison made a few moves and, moved a few kids around, and it turned out to work in their favor, and they knocked off South Dade. Which, listen, man, you got to talk about that because not too many people do that.
No, 100%. And, they had kids that year. I mean, Palmetto Ridge had, at the time, a 3-time state champ. What was his name? 113-pounder.
Oh, yes. Where is he at now? I think he's at in Arkansas, right? Little Rock?
No. He committed to Army and then transferred to the Citadel.
Oh, that's right.
Tyler Washburn.
Washburn. That's right.
Yep. Tyler Washburn.
Yes. Yeah, he was tough, man.
No, he's very tough.
All right, 2A. We've got Middleburg and Clay. I'm going Middleburg on this.
I'm going Clay on this.
Okay.
It's going to be close. Like, Clay isn't new to this. This is Middleburg's first time ever making the state duel tournament.
Okay.
In their program history.
Okay.
So I believe Clay, with the experience and the advantage they have, are able to do this. Clay always has state finalists, state placers, high-level state placers.
Yeah, they do.
So, I think it's going to be very close. This is going to be a duel to watch as well. But I have Clay edging it. Just by a little. But I will not be surprised if Middleburg pulls it out. But for my pick, I have Clay.
Okay. Yeah, so, Middleburg, I don't have anyone at 106 in the top 10. That's only because
Go to 157.
What's that?
And go to 157. I believe they have a kid there. His name is Wyatt Leduc, I want to say.
Wyatt Leduc. Yeah, Leduc. He's 14-1, I believe. Got him ranked number 3 in the state behind Hodge and KJ Vasquez from Tampa Jesuit. Leduc is a dog. He's tough as hell.
I believe he just got 150 career wins too. Congrats to him.
Wow. That's a lot. I tell you what, today I guess it's not so much for the really good wrestlers, but back when I was wrestling, we only wrestled like maybe, if you wrestled a lot, maybe 35, 40 matches for the year.
Really?
Guys have that right now at this
Yeah,
point.
guys going to the state tournament with 60 matches under their belt.
I've seen over 70.
That's crazy.
I've seen over 70 matches. Dude, that's a lot of wear and tear on your body.
Yeah, it is.
It really is. But going back to the 113, we've got, Gavin Fisher. I have him ranked number 1 in the state. The others don't. I don't know where he is. I think he might be number 3.
I have Gavin Fisher number 1 as well.
Yeah, I've got him number 1. He's undefeated, 13-0. Or I don't know what happened with him this weekend. I'm sure he did okay. But as of last week, he was 13-0. I got him over Eric Bush from Riverdale, who is a state champ from Illinois that is a transfer here. He's now at Riverdale. And I got him ranked ahead Garrett Ferguson, who's 30-3 for Gulf Breeze. So Gavin Fisher is no joke, man. He just keeps getting better and better and better. And I've watched it with my own eyes, Alex. I've seen this kid, and I'll admit this right now because he made me look stupid by, when I first saw him, I was like, this kid's nothing special, man. He's okay. He's average. And then I kept watching him, and he was getting better and better and better. And let me tell you something. I'm probably one of his biggest fans right now. I love that kid. He's a competitor. He loves to compete. He loves to win. He hates to lose. I think he's going to win a state title this year.
I will say that even though I do have Gavin Fisher on my number 1, Eric Bush coming from Illinois, I believe that's a state with only one sanctioned state tournament. I could be wrong, but that's an Illinois state title. Illinois is also probably a top 10 wrestling state in the country right now.
100% top 10.
So that's a hard place to win a state title. And coming in from Florida, he's going to have that knowledge, that different wrestling style up in Illinois coming down here.
Yep.
I won't be surprised if things change up, 1 and 2 interchangeable, but I hope to see that state final. Yeah. I really do.
Well, they definitely will not meet this coming weekend, but at the IBT, there's a strong possibility.
Oh, 100%.
All right, so Middleburg over Clay is what I think. Clay over Middleburg is what Alex thinks. What about Braden River and Charlotte?
Man, congrats to Braden River. I don't know if this is their first time ever making the state dual tournament, but I do know that they've had a consistently tough team. But Charlotte, state champ from Somerset, Jake Austin, transferred to Charlotte. Charlotte consistently has state placers. Charlotte also has some of the best lightweights in the state now, with Jake Austin being there leading that room. And he's very interchangeable in the 1, 2, 3. I mean, 2A 120 may be the hardest 120 weight class in the state right now. You talk about number 1, Lucas Barrios, interchangeable with number 2 and 3, Malachi Ortiz and Jake Austin. That's an insane lineup. One of those guys are going to meet in the state semifinals, probably even the state quarterfinals, depending on how the bracket goes. So
Braden River at that same weight class at 120, Braden River has Matty Ireland. He's 37-3 right now, so you can never count out Matt Ireland.
No,
Braden River.
Definitely can't count him out. And I hope they have a great match with Jake Austin. But Jake Austin, he's jumped levels. And wrestling family too, like you say all the time.
Yeah,
so
for sure. If that match happens, who knows what chess match those coaches are going to play.
Exactly. So maybe they'll bump him up. But we'll see what happens. Like you said, anything can happen.
Absolutely.
But I have Charlotte for this one.
As much as I really, really respect those kids at Braden River, because they wrestle their butts off, man. They really
100%.
do. And they're tough. And going back to, you saying Charlotte always has guys on the podium every year at the state tournament, at the IBT, Braden River does too. I think the last 5 years they've had state finalists and, high state placers.
And I mean, we just talked about a 1, 2, 3 punch, but me checking the state rankings, 106 you have Matthew Schuler.
I know.
A great wrestler.
Yeah.
113 you have Kaden Moore.
Yep.
Great wrestler. 120 you have Jake Austin.
It's not an easy feat for Braden River.
It's not. And that could be like you said, possible 18-0 lead to start with.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. So going back to what I was saying, as much as I would love to say I'm going with Braden River, I have to look at the wrestlers. I have to look at the records. I have to look at the past accomplishments, any head-to-heads. And if I do that, I have to say Charlotte. So I will go with Charlotte on that one as well. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Oh my God. You know what? We're going to save this one for last. Let's start talking about Somerset and Jensen Beach.
So, 2 teams that transferred from 1A to 2A and still making the 2A state dual tournament. A lot of people argue that 2A was tougher than 1A. They wouldn't be able to do it, but that it just happened. So now we have the same possibility of what would have happened in 1A if they made the state dual tournament happen in 2A. Exactly. Jensen Beach and Somerset.
Yeah.
I think Somerset has a great team this year, and if they bring everyone, no lineups missed, I think they have one of the best teams in the state. Jensen Beach is not anyone to sleep on, though. Led by Sebastian DeJaneiro, who's ranked in the country, I think number 11, number
Yeah,
10.
it's already signed with Oklahoma University.
Exactly. 3-time state champ. He's amazing. He's a great wrestler. But I believe the firepower that Somerset has from the beginning to end is insane. I mean, I believe at 150 they have Louis Ballone and Eric Hodge.
Right.
157 they have 157 they have Louis Ballone and Eric Hodge. At 150 they have Tristan Sains.
Yeah.
At 165 they have Blenny de Vilma. At 175 they have Michael Sains.
Loaded.
That's loaded, right? Then going up at 285 they have Abdur Bey, or 215 285 Abdur Bey, who's also a great wrestler. And then you go down, you have Carlos Sains.
You got Michael Sains at 175.
Yeah, and you go down. The Saints brothers always bring a great aspect to that room.
Yep. Mateo Martinez at 190. Did you already mention him?
I didn't mention that. Mateo Martinez at 190. Mateo Gonzalez at 138.
So tough.
144. Who do they have at 144?
Let's see. 144 in the state.
Oh, Darian Shannon. Darian Shannon at 144, I believe. Yes. Another great wrestler. Made a state tournament last year. So, we'll see what happens. That's one of the... We just named like 7 possible 6-point lineups,
And here's the thing. Listen, no disrespect to Jensen Beach or Tom McMath. He's one of my favorite guys in the world. And he himself was an amazing wrestler at West Virginia University. I believe he was an All-American, D1. Great coach, been coaching there for a million years. He's been there ever since I can remember, back in 2004 or 2005.
Yeah, I'm young, but he was there since I was wrestling my freshman year.
Yeah, so. He was there when my oldest son, Nick, who's now 35, when he was in high school, McMath was there. So it's a long time. So he's a really good coach and he knows a lot. But here's the thing with Somerset. This is what should scare everybody else. Coach Blasucci knows not just his wrestlers, but everybody's wrestlers 100%. Better than anybody else in this state.
100%.
Better than anybody else. So he is the chess master because he's going to know where his best shot lies to win with the head-to-head matchups. And I promise you, take this to the bank, you will see some movements in that lineup when they wrestle.
I agree. Jensen. And Coach Joe Blasucci multiple time, I think back-to-back Coach of the Year consistently. And there's a reason for that. Like you said, he's one of the best chess coaches in Florida, and not just in Florida, arguably in the country as well.
Right, because he's so damn knowledgeable.
And if you know a kid as a great scrambler, okay, I need to put a guy that has really good defense. Yeah. I need a guy that can get through those positions. That's a gritty wrestler that's going to fight to the end. If you have a gritty wrestler, okay, I need someone that's a little more defensive, has a high wrestling IQ, isn't afraid to be aggressive. That's Coach Joe Blasucci. He's an amazing coach and consistently has great teams.
And for every single thing that you just said, I go with Somerset over Jensen Beach.
Now, let's talk about this last one you want to save.
It's scary, man. And it shouldn't be. It should be in the finals. It's not. Tampa Jesuit, coached by legendary Hall of Fame coach Sal Basil, versus Lake Gibson, coached by legendary coach, Hall of Fame coach Danny Walker. Both are loaded from top to bottom.
100%.
Both will have state champions this year in the IBTs.
100%.
I don't know, man. I don't know if I can choose one. So I'm gonna leave this one up to you. You're gonna kick it off.
Wow.
What do you think about this one?
No pressure, right?
No pressure.
All right. So out of all the teams in the state that I've done research for, Tampa Jesuit and Lake Gibson, for this reason, ever since the classification move, has probably been the most research I've done for. You talk about kids, like you said, from top to bottom, that could be state placers from everywhere. I think if we had to go down to the wire, last match, I'm going to choose Lake Gibson. And honestly, this is going to sound crazy, but I know personal people from Lake Gibson. I know people from Lake Gibson, and I also know people from Jesuit. But if I had to pick, I think the transfers Lake Gibson has picked up this year, and Jaden Oliver and Hussam Mustafa helped their line to become stronger, getting led by Christian Fretwell at that 138 spot, 132, 138 spot, is going to be amazing. And even their young guys that are freshmen, sophomore, juniors, coming up, getting consistently better every year. Jesuit has the capability to beat them. Malachi Ortiz, Harlan Vasquez, Draven McCall, I believe Mendez at 215. I believe he's at 215 now. It's a tough lineup. It's gonna come down to the wire, in my opinion. I would be surprised if it ended up being a domination or a blowout. And I think that whatever team here wins has the possibility of making the state dual finals. But it's not going to be any easier because they have the hardest side of the bracket whoever wins between Tampa Jesuit and Lake Gibson, in my opinion, will be facing Somerset in the semifinals. So you go from state championship first round to another state championship second round. So I believe whoever wins that side of the bracket will win the 2A state duel tournament.
Yeah, that's a very valid point. And, I'm looking at the FloridaWrestling.com state rankings. And again, we only rank the top 10 in each weight class. It's very exclusive, but I'm looking at it. And if I'm not mistaken, I think there is a top 10 guy either from Jesuit or Lake Gibson in every single weight class.
There is. There is.
So 106, we've got RJ Phelan, ranked number 2. He's a freshman.
Amazing. Yep. Amazing.
And then for Jesuit, we've got Zach Leto, another freshman. So you got 2 freshmen at 106 that'll go at it. I'm going to go with Phelan on that one,
I agree.
Because he's number 2 and Leto's number 6. I think Phelan's a step ahead right now, so I'll go with him. But then at 113, you've got Brock Glover at number 4, but you've got Aiden Groover at number 10. I'm going to go with Glover just on experience. And, he's been in some big matches. Big matches. Listen, nothing against Aiden Groover. Think he's a tough kid. But if you got to pick one, you have to. I got to go with Glover.
I agree with you so far.
At 120, you've got Malachi Ortiz. And, I had, who did I have? Oh, I had at 113, I had Rudy Messner, but he bumped up to 120. So Groover will be at 13. Messner's going to be at 120. Listen,
Malachi Ortiz, though.
Yeah. How can you choose against him?
Mm-hmm.
He's 20-2. Who are his 2 losses this year?
His 2 losses are
out of state or in state?
Giovanni Silvar, Lucas Barrios.
2 of the best.
I believe so. I know Giovanni for sure. He lost to him in the knockout finals. It was 2-1, I believe. It was super close. And then I want to say Malachi Ortiz lost to someone at Cradle Cancer. I don't remember the name. I don't think it was Barrios. It was someone else at Cradle Cancer.
Okay.
But those are his 2 losses, both top level kids too. Yep. Not an upset at all.
Right. So he'll win at 120, and then you go to 126. You got Reed Yakes from Jesuit, 25-2, sophomore. Kid, super stud. But, at Lake Gibson, you got Roberto De Jesus.
Yeah.
I don't think he's got enough to beat Yakes, but you don't know. You never know what can happen.
Anything can happen.
You got a number 2 versus a number 5. How many times do you see, it happen where, the 5 will beat the number 2? You see it all the time at the NCAAs. You see
exactly
unseeded guys getting to the semis and finals.
Exactly.
I'll go with Yakes on that one, but you never know. Brett and who's that Jesuit? I don't have a top 10 Jesuit at 132. Who do they got at 132?
I don't believe they have a top 32 as well, but even if they did, we're talking about Fretwell. We're talking about someone that, last year I can confidently say that he was a different person than he was this year.
For sure.
I know Fretwell was fighting some injuries last year.
Yes.
Which, hurt his wrestling overall. This year he's coming in healthy. Wrestled at Ironman, got a handful of wins at Ironman, which is some of the toughest kids in the country. Prep schools too. Comes here, beats Lincoln Sledzianowski in the knockout finals, right? Which, we just talked about as one of the top kids, and Fretwell taking that win. And I believe it was almost a major decision as well. That's insane. So I think Fretwell can get 6 for them, which could change the whole projection of the duel.
Right. No, definitely 100%. And then at the next weight class up, 138, Jaden Bowles from Tampa Jesuit. And for Lake Gibson, it's going to be Noah Gregory. Now, I've got Gregory ranked number 7. The other does not. I don't even know I don't think they have him in the top 10. I know he's ranked, maybe 13, 14, 15. I'm not sure.
No, he's good, but Jaden Bowles is really good.
I agree. Listen, I'm a big fan of Noah Gregory, and I'll tell you why. Because he has come, since he transferred to Lake Gibson, that kid is a completely different wrestler. Completely.
I mean, environment changes the room, and that's a great environment to be in.
I was just going to say that. And the reason for that is that room. You always hear people say the room is different. The room is different over at the Gib. The room is different. You hear it all the time, but it really is.
No, it is.
It really is. So, when you're banging with guys like Fretwell every single day and, other top guys, you're going to get better or you're not going to make it. And
exactly.
No, Gregory's not the kid to say, hey, I'm not going to make it. He does whatever he has to do. But, he's got the cards stacked against him with Jaden Bowles, but we'll see. Then at 144, we have got Jaden Oliver, number 1 ranked kid for Lake Gibson.
So
but number 2 is Xavier Albo.
I was just about to say, I believe that's going to be the 1-2 to watch. I know Jaden personally. I've wrestled Jaden before in practices and camps and stuff like that, and he's a great wrestler. He's strong, a mix of strong, funky, fast. He's everything. He's a complete wrestler.
Yeah.
And he hasn't come from bad rooms too. He went from South Dade. We talk about arguably the best team in the state of Florida, one of the best teams in the country, to Southwest, to the Gib. He's only trained in the best of the best rooms.
Right. You just named the top 3 schools in the state.
Arguably, exactly.
Yeah.
So I think Jaden Oliver got it. I know him personally. He's a friend. A little bit biased there.
Yeah,
but
I agree.
Friend aside, he's a great wrestler.
Yep.
So
Good match,
I have Jaden Oliver.
I go with Oliver on that one.
Exactly.
All right, 150, Mason Basil, Tampa Jesuit, super sophomore. I think he takes Leandre Campbell. I don't think Campbell will beat him. Could he beat him? He sure could. But
I think Leandre could, because I don't know if it was Leandre or someone else, but I believe Leandre at one point went to state and faced one seed from another region. This kid out first in another region, and Leandre beat him. And he's also extremely strong.
Yeah.
And then training with kids like Jaden Oliver every day. And then maybe even Hussam. I won't say it's crazy if Leandre pulled up an upset.
Yeah. No, it could happen. I mean,
of course.
Absolutely. Listen, we're talking about a number 2 and a number 5. There's very small difference between that. But I'm going to go with Basil on this one just because I think he's a better wrestler at this time. But, you said Leandre Campbell is very strong, which you're right. But you didn't mention anything about quickness, and that kid is fast as a cat.
Yeah,
his reflexes are ridiculous.
He's an athlete. He's a great athlete.
Yes, I agree with you on that. But as great of an athlete as Leandre Campbell may be, I don't think he's going to take out Mason Basil. So I'm going with Basil on that one. Brings us to 157, which you got.
I think we both have the same kid.
Yeah, KJ. I don't even have a 57 ranked in the top 10 for Lake Gibson. Which is odd because they have someone ranked in the top 10 pretty much every weight class. Who is at 157 for them? Because Hussam Mustafa is at 65.
Hussam Mustafa is at 65. I could check for Lake Gibson, but I do know that we're talking about KJ Vasquez,
right.
Fargo All-American.
So I guess it doesn't matter who they put in at 57. KJ's taking him out.
I mean, they have a kid, he's ranked 12th in the other section of the website, Jerry Ware. So I haven't heard of him before. Yeah. I'm sure he's a great wrestler, especially being in that room. But
he's
talk
not
about a kid that KJ almost double Fargo All-American in freestyle and Greco. State finalist as a freshman. His only losses have come from out-of-state kids from the knockout and the number 1 kid, Eric Hodge.
Yeah.
So besides that, he's beaten everyone.
Yeah, I mean, hey, listen, man, it's going to be a great match to watch. But the one that I'm really, really excited about is at 65 with Hussam Sam Mustafa and Draven McCall. Dude, that's worth the price of admission.
So I know Draven.
They've wrestled each other, right? They've wrestled before.
I don't know if they have. It's a possibility. Maybe last year they did.
Yes, I don't know if it was. I don't think it was this year, but I heard that they have wrestled, and I heard that Sam has beaten him. That's what I heard. I don't know. I didn't confirm that. Do you know anything about that?
I do not know anything about that, but I know that Draven did have a knockout loss to sophomore Kyle Gallo from Zephyros Christian in Ultimate Tiebreaker.
Yes.
He did end up beating him again in the consolation, but, we're talking about championship round when everything really matters and you wrestle your hardest.
Right. And Gallo just recently beat Sam, too, at the Braves Invitational, correct?
Exactly. But, that's a whole other classification. We're talking about Draven and Hussam right now.
Right.
I've heard about Hussam from wrestlers from Lake Gibson. He can use his length to his advantage. Extremely long. Has got 3rd at states or 4th at states at what was it? Lake something.
Lake Wales.
Lake Wales. He got 4th at states at Lake Wales, right? And I'm sure that's great skill. Now you're going into a room with Hall of Fame coaches and amazing wrestlers.
Right.
You're only going to become a better wrestler. So if anyone could put up a challenge to Draven right now, it could be Hussam, but we will see what happens. 2 great athletes.
Yep. Well, no matter what happens at that weight, at 175, Braden Cahellan is going to win. I got him ranked number 4 in the state at 175 in 2A.
Mhm.
I don't have anybody.
I don't think there's anybody right now that could
Yeah,
do anything crazy to him. He's great. He's really
yeah.
strong, really good.
So they're gonna take that. I mean, listen, he does have 8 losses this year. I don't know who those 8 losses are to. Obviously, I can look it
Like
up, but
like I said, knockout and out of state kids and stuff like
yeah,
that. But I'm sure something had to happen in state. But I want to say it's against some of the best kids too.
I would imagine it would be. And then you got 190, and I don't see anybody ranked from either school in the top 10 at 190.
I know Lake Gibson has a kid, Adrian Castillo.
Okay, I've heard
Um,
the name.
but that's rare for both of those schools to have no one there in the
Right.
top 10 and 190.
Yeah.
But if there's a match that matters there, right? It has to be whoever you put out. That's probably the match that could change everything.
Yeah, for sure. And then at 215, Marvin Mendez, Menendez, Marvin Menendez of Tampa Jesuit. He's a sophomore. I had him ranked number 4 at 190, but he bumped up to 215 from what I'm told. So
Yeah.
he's number 4 at 215 right now. And for Lake Gibson at number 7, you got Gabriel Solis. Solis.
Solis.
I don't think any relation to the brothers at
No.
South Dade, but spelled the same way.
Yeah.
So I guess I would go with Marvin just because I've got him ranked 3 spots ahead of Solis. But again, that may be a toss up. I don't know. What
I
do you
have
think
Marvin
about that?
too. I have Marvin too.
Okay, so we'll go with Marvin on that one. And then at 285,
Heavyweight.
what do we got? We got Lake
Yep.
Gibson, Leland Callahan. Leyland
Yes.
Callahan from Lake Gibson. He just cracked the top 10. He's at number 10.
Mhm.
I don't know much about Callahan.
I don't know much about him
his
either,
wins and
but
stuff.
I know Jesuit doesn't have anyone there right now.
Okay.
Maybe they could bump kids up depending what happens, but we'll see. I
Yeah.
think that's going to be the duel to watch though.
Man, that's going to be a close duel.
Yes, it is.
Who are you going with?
Lake Gibson. I got to go with the Gib.
The Gib?
Yep.
Oh man, I don't know, man. It's really going to be a coin toss for me. If you're putting a gun to my head and forcing me to choose, I'm going to go with Lake Gibson on that one as well.
Mhm.
Although I really don't know, man. I don't know.
Let's just say to the viewers that this is the one where we truly can say we have no 100% favorite towards anyone.
Exactly.
If anything, our pick is 51-49.
Right.
Like it's that close.
Yeah, it really is. Wow, that's going to be good. All right, let's go to 3A because this is going to be fun. So I'm going to let you say what this is. This 3A state duels, you told me off camera, this is the battle for what?
This is the battle for second place. You know, no disrespect to any teams.
Of course not.
Like I said, anything can happen, but we're talking about South Dade. We're talking about one of the best teams in the state, the best team in the state in my book. Arguably could go up there with some teams in the country.
Top team in the country. I think they are ranked in the country.
And you know, they picked up some great transfers, and not only that, the kids they're returning are as good. Solis brothers, for one of them going for their 3rd state title as a freshman. The other one going for his, I believe, 2nd or 3rd state title as well. Then you have Willie White, you know, one of the best kids pound for pound in the state. And then you go all the way to Jonathan Moreno at 175. Right? I could think of names and just start naming off immediately. Brian Morales at 113. Every single kid.
Whoa. Do not make the mistake to forget about Jose Calava. They're 106. They're
Yes,
freshman
Jose.
phenom. That kid is the real deal. And I learned that at the Lake Gibson Braves Invitational. First of all, nobody thought he was going to make 106 or 108, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And he did. And he destroyed everybody. He
Did he win?
Yeah, he won it.
Wow.
Yeah, Calava won it.
Hey, there you go. South Dade.
I'll tell you exactly who he beat. Give me 1 second. So in the semis, in the quarters, he majored people.
Yep.
And they were tough, but I'm gonna find it right now.
Well, while you're looking for it,
Yeah, go ahead.
guys, like I said, South Dade, in my opinion, you know, maybe I have some South Florida bias, but there's nothing to put past when you look on paper what they've done every single year consistently for the past 20, 25 years. You just can't look past it. And this is the team. You know, they faced Douglas in the first round. All respect to Douglas. I have great friends there. David Leva, Rocco Dugalu. I've trained with you guys multiple times before. You know, South Dade is a great team. You know, whoever they face between George Jenkins and Palmetto, which congrats to Palmetto because I also think it's their first time making it here. And I wrestled with their kid Jake Wyatt, very good kid, great wrestler, trains under BB Train Wrestling up in Tampa.
Yeah,
a great program. I think Palmetto can beat George Jenkins, but then they face South Dade. You know?
Right.
everyone, and it's not just me showing bias. Every single person in the state, when they go to a tournament and they see those people from Gladiator, they know who they are. If you start wrestling and you want to know who the best guys train at, you know where they are, and it's in South Florida and South Dade.
Yeah.
When you become a good wrestler and you see people at the state tournament, you know who they are. And it's not just once every couple years or every other year or every 5 years. Every single year, they have a state champion. Every single year, they have someone. Every single year, they get team state dual titles. I believe they're going for number 8 right now, or 28, 29.
Yeah,
Like,
it's ridiculous, man. So going back to what I was saying, Jose Calava, the 106 for South Dade, you know who he beat in the finals at the he beat Eli Jalasha from Swanee 3-2.
wow.
Yes.
You beat the number 1 kid in 106 in 1A.
Yeah, not just beat the number 1, he beat a bunch of ranked kids. He also beat Tristan Horn. It was either Horn or Elijah Castanon. I think it was Horn.
Wow.
It was one of those two.
I watched Tristan wrestle at I believe he went to Seahorse.
Yeah.
Wow, he's a great wrestler.
Dude, Tristan majored Castanon 10-0.
That's insane. Tristan is gritty.
Yeah.
Tristan is very gritty.
Yeah, he is, man. One other thing I wanted to mention about that South Dade duel against Marjorie Stoneman Douglas. I'm very, very close friends with their coach, Kenny Gendison. Super guy. Very, very good coach. I don't know what he's going to do at 126. Does he put in David Leva, who's one of the top guys, against Guillermo Jaramillo? Or I know he's also certified for 120. Does he make him make 120 for that duel and put him up against number 4 Caleb Williams? I don't know. That's where the chess match comes in.
Choose who you want. I still got South Dade there, but also Rocco Dugalu at 113. He's also very good. Can he beat Brian Morales? Maybe. But who do I have? Brian Morales. Preseason nationals champion, state champ. He's a great wrestler. Those are going to be the 2 matches you want to watch anyway from that duel. 113, 120. They pack a punch. Everything else from there.
Sure. Rocco Dagulu, however his name is pronounced, no disrespect. Rocco, he's good as hell. I don't think he beats Morales. I agree with you on that. I think Morales takes him out. South Dade will not lose that, obviously. Douglas just doesn't have enough firepower. They may win the matches that they have their studs at. Maybe they do. But no disrespect.
We just have to be honest with ourselves.
Exactly. I love Kenny Gennison, but it's gonna be a tough loss. Osceola Wellington.
So, like we talked about off camera, a team led by Mac Andrews, just a junior, a great wrestler, amazing wrestler actually. Went to Worlds. I believe he got 5th. Won a couple matches at Worlds. But Osceola isn't a team to sleep on either. Osceola was in the state dual finals with South Dade last year. And I'm sure they're bringing that same mentality again. But other sources had Wellington outside the top 10. I think even near the top 15 at one point for a 3A team. What they've done this year, beating teams, I believe they ended up beating maybe Charlotte. I believe at some point they beat not a full squad of some of the best 2A teams, but now they're ranked in the top 5 for teams in 3A, even top 4 in some. So I think that Wellington can come out with the win on this one.
Well, I have not changed my team rankings yet. They're going to be getting changed tomorrow. Right now, I have Wellington ranked number 9 as a team. I have South Dade, Southwest, Haggerty, Southridge, Osceola, Flagler, Columbus, Olympic Heights, and Wellington. That is going to change big time tomorrow when I change it up. So yes, I agree. Wellington probably is in the top 5.
Yes, I mean they did beat Olympic Heights at regional duels.
Yep. Which I didn't know who was going to win that. I thought Olympic Heights may pull it out, but I was wrong.
I thought so too. I mean, I know they have a back and forth rivalry every year.
Yeah.
It's not. Those are 2 good teams with 2 great coaches too.
Yep. Absolutely. Boomer Mears and Travis Gray.
Yeah.
Those are 2 of the guys that are full-time coaches. And when I say that, what I mean is they don't just coach for 3 or 4 months during the season. They take their kids everywhere all
100%.
year round. Freestyle, Greco, they don't stop. And those are the coaches that have the perennial powerhouse teams year in, year out.
Exactly.
So,
but for this one, I think it's gonna be very close too. But I have Wellington, and then when we move up, we go to Flagler Palm Coast versus Haggerty. Flagler Palm Coast had a show of a duel in the region. against Buchholz.
Okay.
And I believe it was the last two matches they had that won when they were down. And I believe both of them were pins.
I love your pronunciation of it's
Is it
Buchholz.
is Buchholz? Okay. So
Bugles and
so
trumpets, those are instruments, man.
yeah,
I
so
love you, bro. You're funny as hell.
thank
That's
you.
Buchholz. I don't mean
So
to
yeah.
correct you, but
No,
it's
you're
funny.
good. You're good. I know it's all jokes. So they beat Buchholz 35-33. But they go against Haggerty, a tough
Tough.
team. Nicholas Blake, Hunter Jesse, even kids all around. I mean, Haggerty's really tough. I think this could also maybe be close too, but if I had to choose a team, I'm choosing Haggerty. I just think they have it this year.
Haggerty over Flagler. Okay. Very interesting. Very interesting. Oof, I don't know. 113 for Haggerty. You got Brentley Crawley. He's a freshman, man, but he's
Another amazing wrestler.
18-5. I got him ranked over Dagulu from Douglas, just by one, but still.
No, yes, still.
So yeah, he'll start him out. I don't know if I have a lot of Haggerty guys ranked in the top 10. Maybe they're right outside the top 10, but I mean, they're good. Well, Hunter Jesse, like you said, he's tough at 26. Who are their top guys? The guys that I just named for the most
part? Like
you
said, Brentley Carley, Hunter Jesse, Nicholas Blake. Nicholas Blake was in the state finals last year.
Yeah.
Had to face Elvis Solis.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
tough match, but Nicholas Blake is really good. He's in the state finals for a reason.
Palmetto and George Jenkins.
Yeah, I chose Palmetto to get it done, but George Jenkins is also, really good team. I think they have a kid in the name. I think his last name's White, but he's really good too. But I think just Palmetto has more kids there to get it done. But then again, they face South Dade. I have South Dade in the finals, and then we go to Haggerty and Wellington. I think that will be also very interesting. If I had to choose, I think Haggerty will also get it done. I think Haggerty will make a state dual final appearance, and no disrespect to Haggerty, but South Dade is going to win in my book. And maybe cards can play out right. Maybe stuff can happen. But now you're talking about your top kids having to go against other top kids. So,
yeah,
we can see what happens.
Yeah. Nah, listen, I agree with you. Nobody's beating South Dade. It's not going to happen. Could it? Absolutely. It
Absolutely.
Could. I mean, they proved that in 2022. I'm at a Ridge. Nobody thought they had a prayer, and they pulled it off. But if I'm a betting man, which I'm not, but if I was, I got to go with South Dade as well. So there you have it, guys. Let us know what you think in the comments. This will be posted pretty soon because it has to be. But yeah, let us know, man. Are we idiots? Are we geniuses? Did we get it right? Did we get it wrong? What do you think? Let us know. We would love to. We would love to know. What else? We got anything else?
Yeah. Why do you make the announcement of something special that happened today for you?
Oh man. Okay, I will. Thank you very much. So Friday, I was at work and I got a phone call from Lori, my wife, and she said, "Hey man, you got a letter in the mail, and I think you're going to want to know what this is." I'm like, "All right, open it up." I said, "Where's it from?" She goes, "From the National Wrestling Hall of Fame." I'm like, "National? All right, well maybe they want me to put an ad in the program I do every year for the FloridaWrestlingRoom.com." Yeah. I said, it's probably something like that. I said, "Take a picture of it and send me a screenshot." And it was this. And what it says is, "Dear Ricky, the National Wrestling Hall of Fame, Florida chapter, is pleased to announce that you have been selected to be this year's recipient of the John Vaughn Award. This prestigious chapter award was created to acknowledge those deserving individuals for their profound contribution to the sport of amateur wrestling in the state of Florida. You and one other individual will be the guest of the Florida chapter during the honors weekend, which takes place August 22nd, 23rd, 2025. All festivities are held at the Wyndham Lake Buena Vista Resort. We would like you to attend. During the testimonial brunch on Saturday morning, you will speak about your early days of wrestling and what it meant to you. On Saturday evening, you will receive your award at the honors banquet."
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I'm humbled and I'm
speechless.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's so nice to be honored for doing something that you love, that you've been doing forever. To know that it's appreciated and to get an award like this is absolutely incredible. And if it wasn't for every single member of the Florida Wrestling Room that have been, supporting that Facebook page and now the website, FloridaWrestling.com, for the last 3 seasons, none of it would be possible. And the reason I do it is because I love it, and to get honors like this, and just people calling me, "Hey, thanks for what you do." At wrestling tournaments, I'm stopped a gazillion times by people. My wife goes, "You're like the mayor. Everybody knows you." I'm like, "It's just because I run a Facebook page. That's really the only reason." But to hear them say thank you, it's what keeps me going. So I appreciate you bringing that up.
Of course.
I'm blown away. So thank you to the Hall of Fame and to whoever voted me to get this. Thank you so much. It's crazy.
So thank you guys for watching this episode of the Florida Wrestling Room and Florida Wrestling Insight State Duel predictions, and congratulations to Ricky for making the National Wrestling Hall of Fame.
My man, thank you very much. Well, let me make it straight. I'm not in the Hall of Fame. I'm getting the John Vaughn Award, but
John Vaughn Award.
Good enough for me, man. I'll take
of course.
it. I'll take it.
Of course.
Woo. Yeah, man, that's great. So, guys, if you're not following Florida Wrestling Insight, tell them where they can find you.
So you can find me on Instagram, Florida Wrestling Insight, FL_Wrestling Insight, one word. I would really appreciate you guys' support. It means a lot to me. I'm only 19. I'm very young. So I have a very open mind. I would love to take your advice, tell me what I can work on to be better. A very big thing about my page is, I want everyone to respond. So I always ask you guys what you guys think could happen and what are the possibilities. So please come support me. It would mean the world to me if you guys did that. And thank you.
Absolutely. Guys, when I say follow this kid, I really, really mean it. Not just because he's a great kid, great man. It's because what he's doing. He's giving back. He's still wrestling, man. The kid's still wrestling. He still finds the time to do all this research. He's putting a lot of heart and soul into it. The least you can do is follow him, and you're going to get some really great value out of it because his information is top notch, man, which is why I love collaborating with you, Alex. But
thank you.
Yeah, everybody have a good night. I'm going to get back and watch what's left of this Ravens game. I don't even know who's winning right now between the Bills and the Ravens. I know you hope the Ravens, right?
Yep. Hope the Ravens.
So
let's see what happens.
We're going to sign off on behalf of Alex and myself. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll see you soon, and we will soon find out if we were right or wrong. So you guys have a great night. We'll talk to you soon.
See you guys.